this kind of sound. It's in the ground, it's all around. Feel the groove that never ends. African song in every friend. Hands up now, let colors blend. This love's a circle without end.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
We are looking at a whole stack of notes, some slides, and even a recording from a pretty significant gathering.
Oh, very significant. January 18, 2026. This is the leadership of the Islands region of the ICOC Nigeria Church.
And the energy, I mean, you can just feel it. It's electric.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
They're calling it a historic milestone.
Right, and for good reason, too. We're looking at the numbers here, and they're pretty impressive. In 2025, after a lot of hard work.
A real labor of love, it sounds like.
It does. The Lord brought back 19 of his imagers. I love that phrasing they used. Imagers.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's so much more personal than just a statistic, you know. It reminds you every baptism is a person, an image of God being restored.
So you've got 19 baptisms and then one restoration on top of that. 20 souls.
Exactly. And the regional evangelist, John, he really highlighted that.
He's the one who called it a historic milestone for their region, a real moment of victory. But, and this is what makes this deep dive so fascinating, the speaker, Inu, he doesn't let them just sit there.
No, he does not. And it's important to see his posture here. He says his job was just to encourage them with scripture.
Right.
And he adds this bit about how it's something he's learning to do day by day, you know, face-to-face or online.
I really liked that vulnerability. He's a leader, but he's saying, I'm still learning too.
Yeah.
But back to the talk. He does this incredible pivot.
He really does.
He basically says, okay, we've had the victory, we've seen the fruit, now get ready for the suffering.
Yeah, talk about a mood shift. The lesson is titled Becoming, Entering the Deep Work of Salvation, Suffering, and Glory.
It sounds heavy, doesn't it?
It does, but when you dig into the transcript, you realize it's actually incredibly strategic. He's reframing their whole mission for 2026 with that title.
It's the classic now what moment.
Right.
You've got all these new team members, these new believers. How do you keep them from quitting when it gets hard?
And Indu says that glory, those 19 baptisms, it's an invitation to what he calls salvation suffering.
Because the real work starts now.
Exactly. You have these 19 plus 1 people, young in the faith, and they need to grow deep roots. And Indu is very clear about the environment.
He calls it chaotic, a challenging socio-economic and political environment.
So he's challenging leaders to maturity. He's saying, look, the mission for 2026 is things you already know, but you have to go deeper. You have to care for and stabilize these new believers.
And to explain how, he goes way, way back.
All the way back to ancient history.
Yeah.
He connects their situation in modern Nigeria to the disciples in diaspora.
Okay, this parallel is crucial. Let's break down that word, diaspora. What does he mean by that?
So the Greek term just means scattering or dispersion. Andu points them to the writings of Peter and also Jesus' 2 stepbrothers, James and Jude.
And they were writing to disciples who were scattered all over the Greco-Roman world.
Right. They're the outsiders. They're living in a culture that just doesn't get them. Places like Pontus, Galatia, far from their home base in Jerusalem.
And Indu draws this really sharp line between then and now.
He does. Back then, he says, the culture was all about honor and shame. The emperor was worshipped as the son of God, and you had syncretism.
Which is basically the idea that, sure, you can worship Jesus, but he's just one of many gods, right?
Exactly. Just add him to the collection. Don't be exclusive. Just fit in.
Which is a huge pressure.
A huge pressure. And Indu's argument is that today, we are living in what he calls a digital Babylon. The idols look different, but the pressure is identical.
This part was so relatable. He talks about the idolatry of technology, self, and materialism, and he tells the story about the first time he used Instagram.
Oh, that was such a vulnerable moment.
He says, I was there for 4 hours before I recovered myself. 4 hours.
It's just gone.
And his point wasn't just, social media is a time waster.
Yeah.
It was about the power behind it. He said, it has power to draw us into itself.
That is the absolute essence of modern idolatry. It just consumes you. It pulls you into this world that revolves around self.
And he lists other pressures, too. The shifting norms on gender and identity.
Right. He specifically mentions transgenderism, how kids are questioning their own bodies. He frames these as direct challenges to biblical truth that leaders have to navigate.
So you've got this distraction in your pocket, and then these massive cultural shifts happening all around you. It's a lot.
It's a ton. And that's why Indu's key word is intentionality. The early Christians, they were called anti-society because they wouldn't go to the pagan festivals. They had to choose to be different.
So Endu is telling these leaders, you have to be just as intentional today in digital Babylon.
That's the challenge.
So if that's the problem, this overwhelming pressure to just get distracted or assimilate, what's the solution? This is where he pulls out his toolkit.
Yeah, he takes them straight to 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 through 11.
And this really is the theological foundation for the whole thing. It starts with what you called the grant.
The grant. I love that. So Peter 1 says, His divine power has granted to us all things for life and godliness.
Past tense.
Past tense. It's already done. Dindu really hammers this point. It's not that God will give you what you need. He has given it.
And one of the participants, Margaret, her reaction was fantastic. She basically said,
Well, that means I have no excuse.
exactly.
It's a really confronting thought, isn't it? If the toolbox is already full, you can't say you can't build the house. She saw it as a privilege, but also, yeah, it removes the excuse.
But, and this is where it gets really practical, just because you have the tools doesn't mean the house builds itself.
Right.
Endu then moves to this idea of the staircase of growth. The scripture says, make every effort to supplement your faith.
That word supplement is so key. In the Greek, it has this idea of like paying for a band in a huge production. It takes effort, resources, investment.
You start with faith. That's the foundation you get at baptism. But then you have to build.
You have to add to it, block by block.
He breaks it down into 8 specific blocks. I want to walk through them because his definitions are great. So block 1 is faith. Got it. Block 2.
Virtue, or moral excellence. Endu links this to Jesus' teaching on new wine. It's about your character matching your belief.
Okay, then from virtue, we go to knowledge.
But not just, Bible trivia. This is truth that actually transforms you. It has to move from your head to your heart.
Then we get to self-control. And this is where Endu got personal again.
With his marriage.
Yeah, talking about mastering his emotions when he feels hurt by his spouse.
And his strategy was so simple but so hard. Zip the mouth and pray.
Zip and pray. I think I need that on a sticky note for my desk.
Me too. It's such a vivid picture of self-control. It's not an abstract idea. It's holding your tongue when you really want to lash out.
And if you can do that, you move to the next block. Steadfastness.
I loved the Greek concept he shared here. It ties right back to the suffering part of the lesson title.
It's to stay under, right?
Yes. Like you're under a heavy load, but you don't collapse. You just stay there. You endure. He used Jesus in Gethsemane as the ultimate example, staying under the weight of God's will.
That's a powerful image, not escaping the stress, but surviving under it.
Exactly. And from there, you build to godliness, which is reverence, then brotherly affection, putting the family first, and then finally, you get to the summit.
Love, agape.
Self-giving love. And what really stood out here was the feedback from another participant, Deepa. She had this total aha moment.
Oh, yeah. She said she usually just lumps all these qualities together, like a big soup of virtues. I need to be a good Christian, so I need faith, love, patience, goodness.
We all do that.
Yeah.
But she realized Peter is giving us a blueprint. It's a construction project. It's a progression.
You can't just jump to agape love if you haven't built the self-control block to support it.
Exactly. It's an architectural approach to your own soul. You have to build it step by step.
And that structure, that step-by-step idea, it seemed to really land with the leaders in the room. It makes spiritual growth feel, less vague, more actionable.
Totally.
Yeah.
You can look at the staircase and say, okay, I'm stuck on step 4. I need to work on self-control.
And if you stop building, that's where the danger is. Which led to this incredible comment from a participant named Anthony.
Oh, the political metaphor. This was so good.
It was amazing. He's talking about the verse that says, confirm your calling in election. And Anthony just goes, look at politicians.
Oh.
They do all sorts of, and I'm quoting, rubbish things just to get a second term in office. They hustle, they work day and night for just 4 more years.
And his point was, if they work that hard for a temporary worldly election.
Why are we so casual about an election that lasts forever?
Oof. That's a convicting comparison.
It is. Confirming your election is a campaign. You have to campaign for your own soul.
And another great metaphor that came up was about a health check. Someone compared this list of qualities to a spiritual blood pressure monitor.
Yes, a way to check your vitals. Because Endu warned what happens if you don't have these qualities. You become nearsighted.
Or blind. He says if you're not growing, you forget you were cleansed.
Yeah.
You lose perspective.
You start just looking at the immediate problems, the economic crisis, the politics, and you lose sight of the eternal reality. That's spiritual nearsightedness.
Exactly.
So we've got the context digital Babylon, we've got the toolkit, the 8-step staircase. So what's the mission for 2026? Endu wraps it all up with this call to have a solid purpose in the heat.
And the main goal is just one word, maturity. But he gets very specific about what that looks like. He keeps saying they are becoming. It's a process.
He talks about family discipleship, raising your kids in the fear of God. But the one that really stood out to me was affinity visiting.
That's such a crucial leadership shift.
It is. He's saying you can't lead from a podium. You can't lead from a Zoom screen. You have to go to people's homes.
Be in their space.
Yeah.
Shepherd those 19+1 new believers by actually being with them.
It's the difference between being a boss and being a shepherd. A boss sends an email. A shepherd, smells like the sheep.
That's well put.
Mm-hmm.
And to sustain that kind of hands-on work, Endu redefines prayer. This might have been the stickiest takeaway for me.
I think so.
He connects it back to that idea of steadfastness, staying under.
Which is huge, because I think most of us treat prayer like a divine grocery list.
We all do. Lord, please fix this, change that, give me this. But Endu argues that true prayer is asking God to give us the ability and power to accept his will.
Wow.
It's about aligning yourself with God, not trying to get God to align with you. That's how you survive the heat of 2026.
That is a complete game changer of a definition. It takes the pressure off getting results from God and puts the focus on getting strength from God.
It's transformation, not transaction.
So as they wrapped up, Endu left them with one final provocative question. He asked, in 2026's tough work of staying committed, which habit are you being invited to strengthen?
It's a question that forces you to be specific. You can't just say, oh, I'll do better. You have to look at that staircase.
Faith, virtue, knowledge, self-control.
Steadfastness, godliness, brotherly affection, love. And you have to pick one. What's my next step?
And the regional evangelist John chimed in at the end with such a great thought. He said, we can never be too familiar with Scripture.
Which is so true. A passage like 2 Peter, which these leaders have probably read 100 times, can suddenly feel brand new when you see it as a survival guide for a chaotic world.
It shows the text is alive, right?
Totally. And you see the layers of leadership. Endu brings the lesson, the leaders engage with it, John affirms it. It's a community fighting for maturity together.
So here's our challenge to you, listening to this deep dive. We want you to do exactly what Endu asked those leaders to do.
Look at that list again.
Faith, virtue, knowledge, self-control, steadfastness, godliness, brotherly affection, and love.
Don't try to fix them all at once. Don't be a lumper, as Deepa warned us.
Pick just one. What is the one building block you need to focus on this week to make your purpose solid in the heat?
Because if you build that one block, you're confirming your election. And that's an election worth winning.
Absolutely. Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.
Mama's laugh cuts through the haze while children chase the dust and praise. Yo, ankle bells keep time with bass. Every step a sacred space. From Accra streets to Lagos heat, we move in rhythm, strong and sweet. No borrowed crown, we built our throne. From baobab roots to city stone, skin like earth after the rain, beauty that don't need a name. Feel the pulse beneath your soul. Africa's fire makes us whole. Hands up high, let